Joined by a very special guest in this edition, who is going to be helping us to understand so very much things, especially to do with communication, leadership, and mentorship. Joining me tonight is Engineer Jude Benda Matsko. Is the club District Club Growth Director coming from Toastmasters Uganda. I know you're much interested in knowing what Toastmasters are about, but these are people who are transforming communities, building new generations in terms of communication, building new generation leaders through mentorship, communication, and also public speaking. I won't say so much when I have someone who can explain this very well. Let's hear from the horse's mouth. I want to welcome you, Engineer Jude, to this edition.
Thank you so much, and good evening, our dear viewers.
Interesting, for those that have heard the word Toastmasters, Uganda, what is it about? If you can give us the state of affairs of Toastmasters in Uganda. Is it just in Uganda? Is it anywhere? Where did it come from? Which programs you do in this country? And why should the people of Uganda be part of this? Let's start with the Toastmasters. What is it about?
Thank you so much. That is a wonderful question. First of all, have you ever been at a function, for example, a wedding, and they ask you to give a toast at a function of your friend, of your father, or your mother, or your other significant? And you're asked, give that toast. So Toastmasters originated from giving toasts on functions. And because there was a haphazard way of giving toasts, someone sat down and thought it wise that let us have an organized way of toasting. And that is the birth of Toastmasters. Toastmasters started in the year 1924 in California, that is the United States of America. Actually, it was on the 22nd of October 1924, meaning yesterday, which was the 22nd of October, we celebrated 101 years as Toastmasters International.
Interesting.
When it comes back to Uganda, we have been around since the year 2010. So we can say we are about 15 years old in Uganda as Toastmasters of 256. Now, what is Toastmasters? Toastmasters is a non-for-profit organization which aims at educating the masses, the people out there, about public speaking, communication, but most importantly, leadership. There is no way you can be a great leader if you cannot communicate very well. Either can you be a communicator and you cannot be a good leader. So communication and public speaking together with leadership work hand in hand for you to be a great leader. And our slogan as Toastmasters is where leaders are made.
That's a good one.
Yes. As far as Toastmasters is concerned in Uganda, we are quite a number of clubs. I must say we are about 20 active clubs in
15 years.
In 15 years.
Good
and
job.
Most of them are concentrated here in Kampala. With only one club from the upcountry, and that is Mbarara Toastmasters Club. Our aim is to make sure that every city, every suburb, and we are very lucky our government has even opened up so many cities outside Kampala, is to have a Toastmasters club in each city. That is Gulu, Mbale, Jinja, Tororo, everywhere, so that Toastmasters can be all over the country, because there are so many benefits when it comes to Toastmasters. Apart from communication, public speaking, and leadership, there's quite a lot that we talk about as we go along.
Interesting. You talk about 15 years of existence in this country. You talk about 100 plus years in existence globally. But one wonders, what I would also put at a question to you, what drives this expansion of clubs in the country? What are some of these drivers, if we can talk about them?
Thank you so much. The main driver of these clubs is personal growth. Because there is no way you will be a better version of yourself if you cannot communicate, if you cannot lead other people. You cannot inspire people. You can't motivate people if you can't easily communicate. And that is the biggest driver. The other driver is that public speaking is an essential skill that everyone right now needs, be it at home, be it at your workplace, be it in the community that you stay in. You need to be in position to communicate and communicate effectively. Those are the two main drivers of Toastmasters, or the growth of Toastmasters in Uganda: public speaking and, of course, personal growth.
Interesting. Who are your members? What is your target audience?
Okay, that's an interesting question. I want to say that every person is our target audience. But hold on. For Toastmasters, we are targeting people who are 18 years and above. Probably those who are already working. The reason as to why I'm saying that is because for you to be a member of Toastmasters, you have got to pay some fees. And we're assuming that anyone less than 18 years may not be in position to afford the fees unless the guardians or the parents can really pay for them. But also, that should not worry you, because we have other types of clubs that also work hand in hand with Toastmasters, and that is the Gavo clubs. These are clubs that are targeting those who are still in school. For example, at the higher institution of learning, like universities and other tertiary institutions. So we can have clubs at a university like Makerere Gavo Club, we have YMCA Gavo Club, Victoria University Gavo Club, to mention just a few, for those that are still in school. We are also planning to go down a little lower to primary schools. And our counterparts in Kenya have already started that, to have clubs that really enhance communication, public speaking, and confidence building in the little ones way back from primary. Because I can tell you, my friend, that if I knew there was Toastmasters when I was in primary, I would have joined, because of what you gain as a member the moment you join. Yes.
Interesting. Spreading roots, different institutions of learning, and one would say that you're only targeting institutions of learning like universities, secondary, but there are so very many people who have gone through that system already, and one wonders which programs do you have for them?
Well, if you have already finished the university or other institutions of higher learning, you can join any club of your choice, either in the community or in the organization.
We have some that are already established in the communities.
In the communities.
Not just in schools and universities.
Yes. Like I said, we have 20 clubs. Out of those 20 clubs, we find that about 15 or 13 of them are actually in the community, not in corporate organization. Maybe what I should tell you is that we have two types of Toastmasters clubs. We have those that are in the community and others that are in organization, like our organization here. So they are so spread out, especially in Kampala. For example, we have one in Ntinda, another one in Bukoto, one in Muyenga, another one in Entebbe, another one in Chambogo, and so many others. So you are at liberty to join any community club if you are not in any organization. Of course, we have organizations like Uganda National Oil Company, UNOC, that has a Toastmasters club, so it benefits the employees of that organization. We also have one at the Ministry of Works and Transport, where I come from, and it is called the Exceed Toastmasters Club, although it is also open to the public. Even if you don't work with the ministry, you can join the club. That is how we set it up. Also, we have one at Absa Bank and also at 5 Speak, which is under Standard Chartered Bank, to mention just a few.
Before we come into institutions of learning, universities, secondary schools, and primary schools that you are now opting for, if we talk about community-based clubs, what programs do you offer? And remember, these are working class, so people who are a bit engaged. What programs do you have? When do you engage them? And do you have limited time that you say from the time you are enrolled, you are going to be studying for this time until this time, and then you graduate? Because every time we talk about education, we talk about enrollment, but when am I also graduating? So one wonders how your system does that.
How the system works. I want to tell you that actually you enroll and later on graduate. But you
after how long?
You can take 1 year, another one can take 6 months, another one can even take 2 years.
Based on
your
able to pick things?
Exactly, your speed. Because our program, or the Toastmasters program, is self-paced. So maybe before I go to that, let me tell you a little about how the program runs. Once you make your decision that I want to become a Toastmaster, now you are enrolling. You say, I want to join, for example, in Tinder Toastmasters Club. You enroll, you have paid your fees, and then you go into the program. The program runs in such a way that it has levels, level 1 up to level 5. And like I say, it is a self-paced program. You can decide to study in the morning, study in the afternoon, or study in the evening. But after studying, what happens in Toastmasters is that we learn by doing. You don't just learn and stop there. Once you have learned something in the program, you come and deliver a speech or a project in front of people in the form of a meeting. And that is how our program runs. We have meetings every day, somewhere in the country or in the world. So what happens that you have joined the club and you have started, you have enrolled, and you want now to start. Going to base camp, that is the program that we use, and then you read the material. After reading the material and understanding it very well, you come and deliver a speech within that project. You will be given evaluation on how you have done and areas of improvement, so that when you come back next time, you incorporate the feedback that you received before, and you become even better as time goes on. Once you finish one project, you tick it off. Once you finish one level, you get a certificate of completion. That is the graduation we are talking about. And you can decide to do it within 6 months, even in 3 months, or even in a year, or in 2 years. But we always advise members that utilize your money, value for money. Once you pay, make sure that you deliver the speeches, read the projects, come and deliver the speeches, so that by the time you renew, you have utilized your money and you have gotten value out of it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
How, in your view, how is Toastmasters programs or system different from the traditional one that we had? Because you said that some clubs are already in schools and the university, where we also have members or students almost presenting the same format. What is that new element that you are bringing forth?
Now, when it comes to Toastmasters, it's not about other programs like we see in institutions of higher learning. Where
higher learning, there are presentations, that one stands before a class, and there are lecturers, and there are those who are doing masters, there are those who are doing PhD, where you sit before a committee, and then almost the same format.
It's not.
Okay.
How is this what is done there? Is exactly what is done in Toastmasters, but this one is enhanced and evaluated. It's not just about coming on stage as a PhD holder, you're defending your thesis and you present from slide 1 up to the end.
The last.
Up to the last. I mean, how did you present it? How better could you have enhanced your presentation? What was your style of presenting? What was the vocal variety, the highs and lows while you're delivering? What kind of message were you passing? What was your call to action at the end of it all? Whereas the other side, you're aiming at only one, but here you're enhancing your presentation. And Toastmasters has a program or a pathway called Presentation Mastery, where if you take that pathway, you will be enhancing your presentation skills. When you come to a meeting, you're presenting in a meeting, in a board meeting, or at a conference, how do you present well, persuade the audience, and inspire them to even take on what you're asking them to do? So that's how different it is. Here you're enhancing, the other side you're just presenting for the sake of getting an academic document at the end of it all.
Interesting. Apart from public speaking and also engaging programs to all your members, we are talking about leadership in action, and we are using Toastmasters experience.
Yes.
Apart from public speaking and others that you've talked about, what does Toastmasters do, especially in developing leadership skills among its members?
Yes. So in Toastmasters, before I come to leadership, there are so many other things, but I want to mention one thing, and that is networking. Apart from communication, leadership, and public speaking, you have a group of people that you can network with, like-minded people that you meet and discuss. We have seen friends of ours or colleagues of ours who have gotten employers or even employees through Toastmasters networking. We have also seen people who have sold their products and services through Toastmasters, because we have gatherings almost every end of month, and people showcase their skills, showcase their products and services, and we get customers from within. So that is the networking. Yes.
That is a good one.
Yes.
Because the world now operates on social capital.
It is all about the networks that you have. Yeah. Your network is your net worth.
How are you developing leadership skills among your members?
Yeah, now leadership, the way we develop it is that every club has a set of about 7 roles that you can take on as a leader. A club is led by a president. And a president is deputized by 3 vice presidents. That is the vice president education, vice president membership, and vice president public relations. Then we have a treasurer, secretary, and sergeant at arms. That is at a club level. Those are the roles you can take on as a leader. Once you take up those roles, you're developing your leadership skills at a club level. When you leave the club, you go to an area. An area is comprised of about 4 to 6 clubs. Now we have an area director and the area council. Those are positions of leadership. When you leave the area, you go to a division. A division is led by a division director. Those are leadership roles. You're leading people of diversity. You're leading people from different walks of lives. And in that way, you're enhancing your leadership skills. From a division, you go to a district, now where I sit as the district club growth director. From the district, we have a district director, program quality director, and the club growth director. After that, you go to a region. It is led by a regional advisor. Then you go to Toastmasters International with the international president and other directors. So that is how you take up different roles in Toastmasters and enhance your leadership skills, but also those skills are transferable. From Toastmasters, you transfer the same skills wherever you will be, in your community, at church, or even in your workplace.
You talked about graduation. I've finished all the stages, all the programs. So what next? Do I cease to be a member, or there are other programs that I'm still engaged in the clubs?
Well, it's I must say, when you are a Toastmaster, it becomes very addictive.
Once a Toastmaster?
Always a Toastmaster. Mainly because there are about 6 parts. 6 parts that you can do. So when you finish one, you can do a second one, because there are different things that you learn in a different path.
And each takes time.
Each takes time and some bit of money and sacrifice. Yeah, but also you can decide to do only one path or 2, depending on what you really want to achieve. You can also remain as an active member so that you mentor others who are coming on board. You want to be giving tip sessions, telling people how things are done, because every other day we get new members joining and they do not know exactly what to do. So you, a person who has already finished, you can always come and teach others who are coming on board. Yeah, but you can decide. We have people who have done 11 paths.
Wow.
All of them.
For how long?
And they have done it in a record time, about 6 years.
That's a good one.
Yes, yes.
People, especially in Africa, but also elsewhere in the world, we talk about brands. You want to associate with yourself with a brand. In your opinion, how do you position Toastmasters in Uganda and brands, especially when it comes to public speaking space?
Yes, yes. Now, one of the brands that are highly protected is the Toastmasters brand. And probably that is why many people out there do not know so much about Toastmasters, because one of the reason is that it is non-for-profit. So it does not go out there to start advertising. We want members here and there. So it is up to a person who has understood it that they can join Toastmasters. But the way we have positioned it is that everywhere, in every organization, you need people to manage your company very well. Now, for you to be in position to manage a company, you need those skills of public speaking, communication, and leadership. You want to produce more products. You want to make more sales. You can only do it better if you have somebody with a skill of communication, a skill of inspiring, a skill of negotiation, a skill of convincing people to buy your product. And where else can you get it from? Is through Toastmasters. So you would want to see every corporate club, every corporate organization, to have at least a Toastmasters program embedded in the learning and development curriculum.
Why is it that you have prioritized communication?
Now, is there anything you can do? Sorry, it is only in Uganda where a question answers a question, right?
It is part of communication.
Yes. Is there anything you can do without communicating?
Not really.
There's
There are
nothing.
very few.
So it is an essential skill. Whatever you want to do, whatever you want to achieve, you should be in position to communicate. And not just communicating, because we always have that illusion that communication has taken place, when actually it has not. Because, for example, I have 2 scenarios. One is from this week, where we wanted someone to help us with a sponsorship. But in their communication, they said, actually, we'll come to you on the 24th of November. But our event is on 24th of October. Okay? That was one scenario. The person thought they had communicated and everything, until we read the email very well and said, no, it's supposed to be 24th. For them, they were thinking it is November. Where I work, I have a contract where somebody went and changed just one figure. Everyone never saw it until we scrutinized the document and we saw that they changed at the time of signing. That is now communication. So you have got to emphasize communication and attention to detail. The best way to do it is through Toastmasters.
Some people would say, I'm already a profession, I'm already an expert in my career or in my field, and I may not need that. Or how are you helping those professionals or young people in this country to take this as a very important thing to do? Because we have seen professionals who cannot even present a document. We have seen people, graduates who cannot even write their CVs. How are you helping these young men and professionals in this country?
Yes, that's a very good question. And I like that you have asked it and even answered it yourself, because there are so many people out there who assume that they are professionals and they know exactly what they are doing. But put them in front of people to deliver even a 1-minute speech, they will fail. They will start trembling. So everyone out there, whether you're a professional or you're just a starting person, you need these skills. Because you will be a professional in a certain area. For example, I'm an engineer. I use numbers most of the time, or drawings when I'm speaking. But the public out there does not understand engineering language, does not understand drawing. How best can I put my message across while I'm speaking to a different category of people? So Toastmasters helps you to understand your audience. How do they even react? And even if they react in a certain way, how do you respond to calm them down or to keep the conversation going? And all those are embedded in the Toastmasters program, depending on which level or the pathway that you're taking. I'll give another example. You have been struggling to ace an interview. You want to go for an interview, but you don't even know how to answer certain questions. For example, is that very common question of, tell me about yourself. And the first speech in Toastmasters, which we call the icebreaker speech, is all about, tell us about yourself, so that we get to know you and serve you better. Or what do you bring on the table? And all that comes from Toastmasters. So we are helping people of different backgrounds, different professionals to master the art of public speaking, presentation, and also even passing their interviews.
There's one thing to teach, there's one thing to impact the community or personal growth.
Yeah.
But one wonders, how do you measure the impact that you have caused in communities or even in your members or people's or person growth?
Now, it is a relative question, and it may differ from person to person. Some impact may not be measured, and you may not see it after a short time.
True.
You can see it after some time.
But 15 years is a good time
It's a
to
good
measure
time.
the impact.
It's very good, but to an individual, because
true.
Toastmasters is all about an individual. Unlike other programs like Rotary, which is about the society and groups of people, but this is an individual. But I will give you an example, like 2 or 3. For example, where I came from, I was a very shy man. I couldn't even present like I'm presenting right now. If I was in a meeting, I would not even raise my hand to make
Even
any
when
point.
you had an issue to
Exactly, yeah. Because I've ever been beaten for knowing the answer but not raising my hand to say the answer.
You never had the confidence.
I never had the confidence. But now I have the confidence to stand in front of people and deliver a speech without any hesitation or any quaking. Same applies to the community I live in. After seeing me doing so many things, presenting here, giving keynote speeches, people have now started calling me to become their leaders outside there. A good example is a football league of a certain school that I never went to, but they invited me to be their keynote speaker. At one moment, after delivering a speech, there was also an MP who had invited some other prominent person out of the country. After that, the gentleman said, "That was a good speech that you delivered. You are a good leader. And for that reason, I'm going to give the league 30 million shillings.
Interesting.
Very interesting. Now, the people themselves said, no, this man has bought us some money, 30 million shillings, which they have never seen in their lives because it is a growing league. They said, no, we don't need any other leader apart from him. So they had to go and change their constitution because I'm not an OB of that school. They said, no, we want you to be our chairman. So you because of those skills that I've gained through Toastmasters, I have been in position to impact on the community that I live in. And that is how you even measure the impact.
Okay.
Yes.
Interesting. You talk about 15 to 20 clubs.
Yes, yes.
And one wonders, how do you support them to remain active, productive, especially in their respective areas where they are?
Well, thank you so much. The support that we give them is through mentorship and coaching and making sure that they have quality meetings. Our program runs in a meeting setting, and in that meeting there are about 7 roles, if I'm not mistaken. There is a speaker role, there is an evaluator role, accountant, grammarian, general evaluator, and the timekeeper. Now, as members, you support the club by taking up such roles so that they can be in position to grow. You can only grow when you practice. Like I said, we learn by doing. You will not sit there, watch somebody speak, and then you are like, yeah, I think I've mastered the speaking. I can speak like that guy. No, you must stand in front of people, deliver a speech, and you are evaluated or given constructive feedback. Yeah, and of course, those struggling clubs, we make sure that we coach them, mentor them, and they become more vibrant by attracting guests who then turn into members.
20 clubs all have leadership, and you also at the national level you have leadership. At the regional level you talked about East Africa,
Yes.
Africa, and also the other continents in the world. But how do you nurture these leaders that take up these positions, or identify them and you say, Amon, it is right time that you take up the leadership of this club, or you take up you have graduated to, do you in any way elect them?
Yes,
do you
yes.
appoint them?
Yeah.
How is your system like?
Okay, I will start at the club level. Club level, ideally we are supposed to do elections. Every club at the end of the year, or towards the end of the year, like in May or June, they hold club elections, where they put up nomination calls and say, members, kindly sign up if you want to take up a leadership role. Then people will show up, those who want.
Who are interested.
Who are interested.
In their respective positions.
Positions, you have president, vice president, education, and the rest. Now, there are those who say, me, I want to become the president. Or you have mentored someone throughout. You have been a president, but you have been mentoring someone. You are like, it is agreed by the club that we make this one a president. It's not so rigid, but the ideal is that we should have club elections. For every role, that is the president up to the sergeant at arms. But sometimes people are not willing to take up positions. Sometimes you volunteer some people, if I'm to use the word volunteering, someone to take up a role. Then at area level, you are appointed by the district. The area director is appointed, or they can also be elected. So it depends on the decision by the district, either to appoint or elect. If they say electing, that means that you have to nominate someone and then that person campaigns, although we don't campaign seriously like we are campaigning in Uganda right now, but you only have 2 campaign messages in the entire campaign period. And you cannot come on the stage even in a meeting and start saying, I'm standing for this position, please vote for me. No, it's not allowed because you don't want to persuade so much the people that are voting you. So that is at the level of the area. You can be appointed. At division going upwards, you must be elected by a council that is in place. Yes, so those are the ways we get leaders on board. But we don't just stop at appointing or electing. Once you have taken up the position of a leader, we take you through a training at the beginning of your tenure as a president. We tell you what you're supposed to do, what you should expect, and how you should handle the club matters. So you go through a rigorous training. Remember, you have volunteered because we do not pay you, and everyone learns on the job.
Even leaders are not paid?
No one is paid.
But at the end of the term, they get some awards or appreciations or what?
Yes, you get an appreciation in form of a certificate.
Interesting.
Thank you so much for serving as a district leader. Next time, do the same. There's no payment in Toastmasters.
Okay.
But we pay to be members.
But you don't pay the leaders?
No.
Oh, okay.
Because that money that we pay is to run the entire program. Once you log into the Basecamp or the Toastmasters website, you will appreciate how much has been put in that program, because there is quite a lot of material that has been embedded in the program, videos, notes, all sorts of information that you want to see in Toastmasters. And Toastmasters helps quite a lot, even outside Toastmasters, even in your business. For example, if you have a struggling business, you want to apply the coaching module in Toastmasters on how to help a struggling business. If you want to start a club, I mean a business, you want to go for a sponsorship module for you to be able to start up a business. And it cuts across.
In this busy world where people are working busy on their businesses, in their offices, those students who are struggling to grasp what has been taught to them in class, courseworks and everything, how do you keep your members really engaged in your programs?
Interesting. That is one of the interesting things that we find in Toastmasters. Mainly because, like you said, people are very busy. They have a lot going on up and about. But we don't meet every day. Many clubs in Uganda meet twice in a month. I think it is only one club in Uganda, Kampala Sunrise, that meets 3 times in a month. And most of it is that one is online, another one is physical. And normally we meet past working hours. So you can be busy about your business, your work, but at the end of it all, you can come to a club meeting in the evening and you'll be engaged for about 1.5 hours, at most 2 hours. And you'll be in position to learn quite a lot from that meeting. So much as you're busy, you have a lot going on, you can spare about 1 hour or 2 in a week or in a month, and you do your projects in Toastmasters. So it's not like you're so busy and you won't find time. As long as you're interested and highly motivated, you will find the time for Toastmasters because it helps you grow as a person.
How do you then ensure that the core values of Toastmasters are practiced, maintained and sustained in the clubs that you have already established in the country?
Yes, it's there are 4 main core values of Toastmasters. That is respect, integrity, service, and excellence. Now, in everything that you do, you have got to respect the club members. If you call me and say, we have such and such a meeting coming on, and we want you to help us with such and such a role, if I tell you politely that I am not available that time, kindly respect my decision. And it is the same thing that you apply in daily life. When you say no, or when you say yes, you should be respected because of your opinion. We make sure that members are men and women of high integrity. That is why that we encourage members to make sure that much as it is a self-paced program, do not go into the system and tick off everything that I've done this, I've done that, I've done that, I've done that. Because we will check actually. The Vice President Education has the right to go and check. Did she actually deliver a speech? Did she complete the project? Why is he or she saying that I've finished the project? So that is how we enhance integrity. Of course, everything that happens must be done in a very good way and of good quality. That is where we promote excellence. Yeah, so that is how we make sure that our clubs stay within the Toastmasters values, because we must practice and preach what we do.
Any challenges so far that you have encountered in the 15 years of establishment in Uganda?
Yes. Yeah, quite a number. And of course, they vary from country to country, but specifically for Uganda, we have a very high attrition rate. If I ask you right now, the first club member in Uganda, and the first club in Uganda was Kampala Toastmasters Club, and we are very happy and honored that up to now, that member is still in the club. Though not very active, but she is still in a club, supporting in one way or the other. But if you are to look at the member that she started with, the charter members are not there. Yes, some could have died, but they have since then taken a sabbatical, said, okay, I've had enough of Toastmasters. And because of that, we have people coming into Toastmasters, 6 months, they don't renew. If they renew maybe twice, they stay for 1 year, and they move out of Toastmasters. So we are losing a lot of resources in terms of people not renewing. And all comes back to the issue of the cost, probably, or not realizing the value out of Toastmasters. So programs like this, where we come on TV and educate masses about Toastmasters, could help tell the masses that, look here, Toastmasters actually helps. And that is why we want many people to join. Otherwise, without the member, there is no Toastmasters.
Sure.
There is no club. There is no area, neither will there be a division. So those are the major challenges that we have. The people not renewing because of so many factors. Our economy is not doing well.
Africa is a very interesting continent, but also it is affected by the cultures and norms in some communities. And one wonders, what have you faced, especially not just challenges, but misconceptions that you've had about Toastmasters ever since you joined as a member?
Yeah, interesting. We were talking about this yesterday, and someone said, aren't you talking about a cult? Toastmasters must be a cult or something. Like, no, it's not a cult of a sort. The only problem that we have with Toastmasters, especially us or any other members who have gained a lot through Toastmasters, is that once you're there, you don't want to leave. And so people say, it must be a cult. Why is it leaving? Why does he want to stay there? There must be a problem. Yeah, of course, there are some topics that are prohibited because they cut across, and you don't want to annoy any side of the society. So you want to avoid things to do with the politics. So you will not come and start talking about NUP or NRM or DP. That is prohibited. The other one that is also prohibited is talking about religion, because we have people who believe in so many things.
True.
Yeah. And because of that, someone might think, okay, you don't want to talk about politics, you don't want to talk about religion, therefore you must be a cult of some sort. But no, it is only done to not to hurt a certain side or part of the society who do not believe in a certain faith, but they believe in some other faith. Yeah.
In your experience, how do you encourage institutions in this country to adopt to the Toastmasters model?
Now, for example, where I work from, we encouraged the human resource department to incorporate Toastmasters as a learning and development module in their curriculum, to make sure that people are actually trained and gain the skill of public speaking. And they even embed it in their appraisal sessions. They put it as a requirement or as a KPI, key performance indicator, in their appraisal systems, so that at the end of it all, everyone in the organization is measured against Toastmasters or something that they have done that is more like public speaking or leadership. And I want to give an example that when that started at our organization some time back, we started moderating sessions. And every person, every leader, for example, starting with the directors and heads of department where I was, would moderate a session. And that would go into your KPI and you'll be marked against that. So it was, I would like to encourage everyone, every organization to incorporate Toastmasters as one of the KPIs in their appraisal systems.
In any institution that could be interested in establishing a Toastmaster club in their respective institutions, or even a community, if there are a group of people who are interested in establishing Toastmasters club, what procedure do they need to take? What would you give them?
Okay, so I will first speak to an individual. Like you, Amon, you want to join Toastmasters, and I want to see you in one of the Toastmasters. Exactly. A round of applause for you. We have one member at least. Yeah, so as a member, I will first speak to an individual, then I speak to clubs, be it corporate or community. So as a member, you can decide to join any Toastmasters club that is near you, and you can visit the first time as a guest, free of charge. You can even visit the second time. After visiting the second time, you can even visit another club until you make a decision that this club, I think, has the people that I would like to associate with, or their way of doing things is what really inspires me, or this is what I'm looking for. Then you make a decision and say, I want to join. Once you make that decision that you want to join, you fill a form, which we call the membership application form. After filling that form, you pay the fees.
Membership fees.
Membership fees.
Renewable, once I pay, that's all.
Not yet, please. You pay a one-off $25. $25, how much in Uganda shilling a month?
My calculation is not good.
Your math, you left it at home. Yeah. Interesting. If you're to look at 3,500, that is almost about 90,000. That is the membership fee, and it is a one-off. Then you pay $60 $60 is about 320, about there. That is the subscription fee that you pay every 6 months. So in every year, we pay twice. If you translate it, that's $120 a year. Now, $120 a year translates again to $10 per month. $10 is $35,000 if we are to go with a rate of 3,500. Many people out there can afford, because sometimes we even waste that 35 on things that do not benefit us so much. So it is an affordable program. After you have paid the membership fee and the subscription fee, then you get access to the base camp. Once you get access to the base camp, you can now start delivering your speeches. You are now a member. You're free to deliver speeches in the club that you are paid for, or a club outside there, be it outside Uganda, you can be in Kenya, Tanzania, you can even be in America, Canada, and deliver a speech as long as there is a Toastmasters club there, because you are a member of Toastmasters International.
Okay.
Yes, that is an individual. When it comes to an organization that wants to start up a Toastmasters club, all you need to do is get at least 20 members, because each club must have a minimum of 20 clubs. Once you have decided that you have the 20 clubs and you're interested in setting up a club, you pay a charter fee of $125. After paying the $125, each member also pays $85. The 25 is the membership fee, then the $60 are for the subscription for every 6 months. You can even decide to pay for 1 year. It is up to you. But what we accept minimum is 6 months. After that, you can even pay in installments, but the first time you're joining or starting up a Toastmasters club, you must pay in full.
Okay.
Then after you have paid your subscription, you have paid the charter fee as an organization, every member of that club can access base camp, and you start now meeting, delivering speeches until you become a better version of yourself. Yeah.
Interesting.
The same applies to a community club. There's no difference between starting up a community club and a corporate club. What it differs is that their one is just in a...
But they all meet the same costs?
Yes, they meet the same costs.
Interesting.
It's only that the other side, probably, it is individuals paying, but a corporate club, the corporate organization may decide to pay for its members.
Okay.
Yes.
Which programs are coming up next for those members who are there and are part of the program, if they need to be updated on something effective tomorrow or this month or this year? Is there anything you're cooking for the members? Yes,
there's quite a lot we are cooking up, especially in Uganda. That is tomorrow. Start off tomorrow, we have what we call a corporate summit. And this corporate summit is going to be based or themed on leadership in action. We are going to be speaking anything and everything about leadership. We are going to have amazing leaders who have lived the testimony of Toastmasters and also been leaders in their great organization. You want to come tomorrow at Hotel Africana, starting at 6 p.m. We'll be in Kagera Hall, and you will listen to the most experienced leaders we have in Uganda, at the same time, very seasoned Toastmasters. We want to see how Toastmasters has transformed these gentlemen and ladies in their leadership quest, and how they have led their organization to get better results.
Is it only for members or anyone?
Now, it's not only for members. Actually, tomorrow we want many guests. It's an open house to everyone, but this time It is an open house to the corporates especially, but we want as many guests as possible. Even if you do not have a corporate organization that you belong to, but you're interested in Toastmasters or in learning about leadership and communication, tomorrow is your day. It is going to be at Hotel Africana, like I said, starting at 6 p.m. And should I tell you the cost? It's
Yes.
just 20,000.
Oh.
The other day I told a friend of mine that it's going to be 20,000. I said, at Hotel Africana, 20,000? You must be kidding me. So it is that affordable.
Interesting.
Yes.
For those who would love to join, what would be your word to them? Is it possible to join even tomorrow?
You can even join right now. I can sign you up already. It is as easy as drinking water for you to join Toastmasters.
Where do you envision this in the next 20, 30, 40 years?
Wow, that's a wonderful question. I like those intriguing questions. One, I am seeing every organization, every MDA, ministry, department, and agency in Uganda, and even private organizations with the Toastmasters program in their organization. Ask me why. Because everything now runs around leadership and communication. If you know a gentleman called John C. Maxwell, once said that everything rises and falls on leadership. If you want to produce, if you want to get better results at your workplaces or even in your communities, you want to use Toastmasters as that driving force to that promised land. I want to tell you there are so many companies like Coca-Cola, Toyota, that have Toastmasters incorporated in their program, and you can tell how much money they make in terms of sales. I don't have to explain. Every car you see in Uganda is Toyota.
Interesting. I'm still enjoying the conversation, but time is not on our side.
Sure.
I would
Yeah.
request that you give your parting shots.
Right. Thank you so much for hosting me this evening. It's been wonderful, and I hope everyone has learned a thing or two. What I can say, you might look at me and say, yeah, this gentleman was born a great speaker or a good presenter. No. It has just come through Toastmasters. And I want to borrow a quote, which is my favorite quote from Zig Ziglar, that you do not have to be great for you to start, but for you to start, for you to be great, you must start. Ladies and gentlemen out there, join Toastmasters and start your journey to transformation. Thank you very much.
Indeed, that brings us to the end of our discussion this evening. I want to believe that you've been able to pick a leaf from our conversation. I was still enjoying the conversation, but time is not really on our side. Perhaps I can join them tomorrow at Hotel Africana and be part of this interesting progress. And I want to believe that in the next 10 to 20 years, this country is going to be transformed by institutions and programs and projects like these ones. And I must thank you, the entire team from Toastmasters, and I want to thank you in a special way, Engineer Jude Bender, for making time to come through and educate the people on Uganda, on U24, and to be specific on the State of Affairs program. The door is really open. You always create time, and we shall be here to give you that time to make sure that the people of Uganda are inspired, because that's what brings us here every day. From me and the team, it's a very good night. The repeat of this program is always tomorrow, that is Friday at 10. You can always create time and listen in. All our platforms, U24, that is on Twitter, or you call X now, and Facebook, and also on YouTube. You can always visit us. Until next time, same station, I'm Pairia Monoptega. Good night.